little pod stand, so we'll see how this goes for recording. But today I'm gonna just show you how I make these little tiny teacups that I make. They are just the sweetest little things, and each one turns out a little different, but I'll show you. We'll make one together and we'll find out how it works. What it ends up wanting to be, because each the angle's right. So some stencils out. I take this is cutting board material, plastic cutting board material, and I actually tested out quite a few sizes to get the right one. So like this is gonna be for my larger cup. These are for the littler cups. I have a bunch over there that were like the size of bowls. So anyways, so I cut a few of these out. I have 4 because I just lost one of mine and I realized I didn't have a backup. So always cut some backup because I had to kind of guess, and luckily it worked out fine. But so the first thing I do is I roll out a slab of clay, and then I take my little stencil and I go ahead and I trace out. For this particular flower you need 6 petals. So I trace them on, cut them out, and I'm checking out, making sure you can see what I'm doing here. I'll zoom in. And then I cut them all at once. It saves me time. I go through, I cut them all, and then I cover them, mist them, and then just work. I go through them. So the first thing I do is I lay out my little board, paper. I'll get a new one just because this pattern kind of comes out and you see it. I actually don't mind it so much on the other side. But it's just a habit. So I take this the edges with a little sponge or my finger, and then I'll do this for all 6 of them, and then I'm going to put this one face down, and I'll show you why in a second. So all right, I am in the midst of getting ready to take my kids to go see the grandparents in Florida. So and when I get back, I've got workshops. So this one, face down. This one, I'm gonna do face up. And again, I'll show you in a minute why I'm doing that. These are feeling a little wet for working with. So, yeah, you don't want them too mushy, or they're not fun to try to form. I found making these cups that they actually do better a little bit stiffer. So you can see I'm just going around the edges. This one's gonna go face down. And this one is going to go face up. You can probably get the gist here. I now understand the importance of cameras, and I'm just using my phone, and I had this old tripod that was outside, and I'm trying it out. And so far my phone is really heavy apparently, and the whole thing went like, so it's when I actually start making some money, I will definitely pay someone to do this part for me, because it is really difficult, at least for me. And I think it's important that we support all the different artists out there with what they're good at. And photography and cinematography and the social stuff is definitely not where I've got the time to do it. I can appreciate good photography. I can and the cinematography and all that, but the time it takes me to get it set up, I'm exhausted by the time I'm expected to make some art. So, okay, so face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, and that is 5. Here we go. And face up. Okay. You will see why I do that in a second. This one is really wet, so I may show you guys some examples while I let this dry up. Or I go through and I clean all of them up a little bit. The thing is with, if you can see, they're very, very thin, and it dries very, very quickly. And I actually lost one. It ended up being a little flower without a handle, and a really goofy looking bibba, because I just let it dry too. It just dried. I had, I multitask. I watch my kids and also try to do this when I have a moment, and it dried up, and I lost that cup. Okay, so this one goes up. Shoop. And now let's see where, yeah, see, they're stiffening up already. It really happens really freaking quick. Okay, next, I take this is my favorite little scratching tool. And let's see, make sure you guys can see this. I'm like scared this tripod's gonna just like fall over and get destroyed. But I take my little scratching tool and I get the edges. And can you see I'm scratching around the edges. And this allows the pieces to stick together properly. Because if you were to just mush them together, unless they're not quite this dry, they won't stick. And I've actually found that out the hard way, where I thought I could get away with it, and got it out of the kiln, and I'll show you. I scratched, you can see I scratched one side, not this side, and it wasn't attached. So it just didn't stay. Even though I blended it, I thought because I blended it and all the things, I could get away with it. Sometimes you can, but I wouldn't bank on it. And I really need these cups to make it because they're part of a workshop coming up. So, all right, next thing I use is this thing called Magic Water. It's amazing. It is through New Mexico Clay, nmclay.com. I'm assuming newmexicoclay.com, and it's awesome. You could make it. I just buy it. Like I said, I like supporting where I can, where I don't have the stuff to make this right now on hand. So now I go ahead and I brush this instead of slip. So it helps pieces stick together. And I use a lot of different clay bodies for different projects. And I find having this, it's a universal slip, works really well. If I'm doing larger projects, you really want slip. There's nothing like it to get two pieces to merge together. But for a lot of this small detail work I do, this is awesome. Okay, one of the things, make sure your batteries are covered. They'll dry out real quick. So the next thing I do, and this is why they were going back and forth, is now this is going to stick to this one. And let's make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. Dun, da, da, da. And now this one will go zoop to go here. This one will go here. And this little cutie, I want to make sure dun, 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 that I've gone in enough. There we go. Okay. So now, kind of looks like a little turkey tail. I go ahead and I just really, I give it like, I put my finger down flat so that you don't see a bunch of finger pressings. And you wiggle, wiggle. I give it a little wiggle because that really is getting these like things to interlock together. Then I take my little sponge. I've got my thing of water here. And I just go back over it. And I really get these grooves in here. I clean up any of the little different textures coming out that I don't want, that came from rolling it on canvas. So I'm getting those. All right. And now I'm gonna go ahead and merge this last piece. So let's see. I just lift it up and then I'm going to fold it gently together. And sometimes the little other pieces will pop off and that's fine. You just go back and correct them. But so now if you can see, I'm gonna just mush that together. Do that same little wiggle technique, just it's a little more delicate because you've got other pieces. Foam topper for beds is awesome for placing your, I bought a big old thing of it and I use this all the time for, I didn't do it earlier and I smushed the top of all my little flower petals and I fixed them, but it was more work. And who wants to do that? So then I take my little paintbrush, which I use all the time with clay, and I go up the creases.